Hi, this is my video about Brunswick County Schools organizational structure. It is currently under revision, but this is a basic beginning in mostly central office, which is where I stem from. So I'll show you what we've got here. Citizens of Brunswick County, they are the most important and at the top of our organizational structure. Then we, of course, have the Board of Education. Then we have Colonel Les Tubb. He is our superintendent, and he is a science guy, so yay to that. We have Rick Green. He is the attorney. Every school system needs one. Joel Coughlin is Mr. Tubbs' administrative assistant. So we've got different branches here, 7 of them. I will tell you about the first branch in a moment. I'm going to skip over to the second branch here. Rhonda Benton, she is our executive director of elementary and middle schools, so she handles all things with those subject areas for the most part. She even supervises, if you will, the instructional coaches that are elementary and middle school instructional coaches, which is what I am, but I'm a high school instructional coach, so we'll talk about me in a moment. Helen Davis, she is our Director of Student Support Services, such as nurses and counselors and social workers and things like that. We've got Jessica Swensky. You may have seen her on TV. She is our Director of Quality Assurance as well as Community Engagement, so she deals with all things that have to do with the news. And then the Quality Assurance piece, we do this this check on all schools called QAR, Quality Assurance Review, and we go around and we have a rubric and we check for what's going on in schools, or, do we see students engaged, or are they using technology, what's on the walls, things like that. And so she heads that up, but gets teams of folks like myself to go through and do these reviews with them. We've got Dr. Jerry Oates, and he is our HR guy, our human resources guy. He actually came over from New Hanover County not that long ago. Then we have Freya Cahill. She is finance director. And then Susan Rutledge is director of operations. So heading on back over here to Dr. Deanne Meadows. She is my direct supervisor, so that's why we're going to talk about this branch last. So we've got Melissa Quinlan, Director of Exceptional Children in that program in the county. Daryl Cheers, he's our numbers guy, testing, accountability. Acacia Dixon is the Director for Instructional Technology. Kathy Oliver, I work directly with her because she is the Professional Development Coordinator, and we instructional coaches do lots of professional development for teachers in school, outside of school, at conferences and things like that. Then we have high school principals also in this branch, and then Victoria Bullard is our administrative assistant. Interestingly enough, when I got this organizational flow chart, it is not mine originally. It came from Jessica Swensky, and they're putting one together for the public, but it is not done yet. I was warned, but what's funny is I got it, and there's no instructional coaches on here at all. So I have put us where we would go if we were on here, and in this little IC area, and this is, at least for the high school, instructional coaches would be here because we report directly to Deanne Meadows, and we work closely with Kathy Oliver, the PD coordinator, and with high school principals, and obviously with teachers if they were on here. We work most closely with them. So that's just kind of one funny little tidbit. So some things that my organization does really well I would say honestly we support teachers really well, whether it's financially, they want to go to some professional development, whether they need technology. We are not a one-to-one county for students, which I don't like that part, but for the most part, if you as a teacher need some technology, or some instructional technology, a smart board, or things like that, then 9 times out of 10 we can get it for you. Or make it happen. So that's one really nice thing that I've heard teachers that have left our county really miss about us. So I would say, supporting teachers in that regard is definitely a biggie. I think that we are really good with my program, the instructional coaching program, which goes on to support teachers, obviously. It's $1 million program. We have over 20, I'd have to count them up, but over 20 instructional coaches, which is very rare. Other counties might have instructional coaches, but they are not content specific like we are. I'm just the science instructional coach for high school, whereas other counties might have one science coach for all grade levels, K-12, or they might have a science math coach for high school or something like that. But it's very rare. I don't really actually know any other county, although there probably is one in North Carolina that does it the way we do, but it's very rare to find. Excuse me. So, what are some things that we need to improve on? I think one thing that we struggle with and teachers struggle with mostly is, and this is kind of the nature of education, I think, too, is that it's changing all the time. And that's frustrating for teachers because it seems like we're always implementing new programs and new things for them to learn, new things for them to try. And they really have trouble trusting these days that we're going to keep a program around long enough. So, for instance, we're implementing learning focused, excuse me, and have been for several years. But the pushback is from teachers, geez, this is going to go away just like, something else did, and, we're not going to have to do this work anymore. And so I can see that from a teacher's perspective. So I think just sort of focusing on 1 or 2 programs to implement and to show teachers, and sticking with it, is really something that we need to work on. We need teacher support on some things, like that. We're trying, actually, one exciting thing is we're trying to, make teachers 11 months in our county, as 11 month would be optional, but that's where they would do professional development and working on curriculum guides and PLCing and things like that. They would be paid for it, so it's awesome. We've got to get some approval from the board. We've got to get approval from the county commissioner for the funding. But we need, teacher support, community support as well. And so if we're viewed as trying things out all the time, I'm not sure that we will get all the support that we really could get if we had a more trusting relationship, if you will. Another thing, I think, student, I don't know if I want to say discipline, but teachers, I think, feel supported through things like professional development and technology in our county, but they don't necessarily feel supported with the way students are dealt with. For example, just, absences. Students can have pretty much as many absences as they want in our county, and that is really frustrating for teachers. Things like discipline, there's the alternative school that students do go to, but what happens after the alternative school? Teachers at the alternative school, struggle because students kind of know that there isn't anything after the alternative school. So they have to either get expelled and not go to school ever, or they get to kind of stick around at the alternative school and do maybe things they shouldn't be doing. So that's frustrating. So if we could work on whatever our system decisions on these things, I think that would be really helpful for teachers. And I think that is pretty much it. Those are the only things that I think we could focus on. And I appreciate your time. Bye.